Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue, and today I'm in Wilmington at Bidermann Golf Course. And on the grounds here at Bidermann, this sign pretty much says it all. It's from Audubon International, and it reads, "The property has been certified for its achievements in environmental sustainability." That's not an easy goal to reach all the time. But today we're going to introduce you to a couple guys here at Bidermann that made it all possible. They are certified, one of very few golf courses in the world that can boast what they've done when it comes to making the grounds that they are really the stewards of environmentally sustainable. Here at Bidermann, they're proud of it, and we're going to show you why next on Inside Golf. The 25th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. Your next golf getaway is in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Visit montcogolf.com. By the First Tee Greater Philadelphia. The First Tee not only helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit firstteephiladelphia.org. By the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, a community of professionals enhancing the game of golf since 1925. Make sure you thank your golf course superintendent today. By Gap, celebrating 125 years of amateur golf. By Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, a digital publication and private business network. Read the current issue free at jerseymanmagazine.com. By the Haverford Trust Company. For life's must-haves, there's Haverford. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia PGA Section, the experts in the game and business of golf.
Golf is the great equalizer. For many, this journey is an escape from reality, a chance to be part of a team, a career opportunity. PGA Reach impacts lives through golf by lifting people up, giving them hope, and sending them down an alternate path that they never saw coming. With PGA Reach Philadelphia, as in life and in golf, the most important shot you take is the next one.
And welcome back. Inside Golf continues. Now we're at Bidermann Golf Course. We're in Wilmington, and we're with Pat Michener, who is the golf course superintendent here at Bidermann. First of all, Pat, thanks for having us out.
Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it.
My first time on the property, so I'm really happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Mid-December, we got great weather.
Beautiful, beautiful weather. Happy to have you here.
We are continuing our series of talking to people like Pat. As I call them, they're the unsung heroes of the game of golf. We take, as a golfer, so much for granted when we come out and play a golf course, be it Bidermann or anywhere else, because you are the guys that keep it playable, optics perfect, but also, and this is an area we're going to talk today about protecting the environment, the habitat, what's here, the natural environment versus, having guys walking or riding around in carts and playing golf and making divots and all that other stuff. But, here we are, as I mentioned, it's December. And for somebody like you, even though there aren't many golfers here today, your work continues in the off season, right? What are some of the things you do in the off season as opposed to, June through September?
It does. Our work never stops. We're always going. If we're not working on the golf course in June through September, October, we're not aeroflying, we're not doing a number of things on the golf course. We're preparing for the next season, and that's really what phase we're in right now. We're preparing for projects that are going to kick off in 2022. We're preparing our agronomic programs and things like that that are going to make us get better, continue to elevate the product that we have for our membership, and continue to provide a very good golf course.
A debate, I don't know if it's a debate, but a topic of much discussion of late, and I know a recent issue of Golf Digest did a 4 or 5 page article on it, is dealing with the superintendents, the natural habitat of a golf course. And as I say, it's I don't want to say a debate, but there are different points of view as to how to approach keeping members happy with the overall look and the greenness and the lushness of a golf course, and also protecting the ground, being a steward of that environment. What's your approach to that?
It's a great point. I mean, being the steward of the environment is really the key. And there's many ways that you can go about it. And there's a lot of different schools and methods. But we as superintendents are very good about balancing the weather elements with the product we want to present on a golf course. And really that starts with the playability of the golf course. How are the greens going to run that day? How are the fairways going to roll? What color is the golf course going to be? And superintendents really do a nice job now of really taking what is at hand with the weather and rolling with it. I know as a superintendent and my fellow colleagues, we're pretty proud of what we do and how we do it.
You know, here at Bidermann, you have quite a complex, 2 or 3 different buildings that are under your, I guess, aegis. And part of that is keeping chemicals, I guess, you know, and there's maybe a debate every once in a while about how much chemicals should be applied to the natural environment in the ground and things like that. I want to go inside here and see what you've done here in a short period of, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
And to improve and to help preserve the environment out there by what happens inside here.
Exactly.
So let's take a look at what Pat has in store for us. What do we have here?
We call this our plant management building, our main center for spray application. So on the far wall, this is where everything is stored, whether they're fungicides, herbicides, or insecticides. We have some bulk fertilizer materials. We have 3 sprayers in this building, and we're all able to fill these up through this mix and load center over here. So priorities in this case are really for efficiency and safety. That's how we like to go about our day-to-day operation.
Let me interrupt you there. In terms of safety, like spillage,
Exactly.
something like that, because you got some chemicals here that could damage not only the environment but maybe individuals. So what have you done to protect against that, specifically right here?
This building is entirely self-contained, so if there is any sort of spillage that happens, everything comes to the floor drains, and we can put it back into these tanks, which you see here. Within this building, the mix and load area, or within this area, the entire wall is self-contained by this knee wall here, which helps
So that's
keep
the
everything
purpose
inside.
why that concrete wall is up a couple feet off the floor.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
How about that?
So safety for the environment, but also safety for our operators. Everybody's required to wear their PPE, but we're no longer mixing chemicals into the sprayer up on the top. They all go into the mix and load area, and we can make sure everything is a quick and efficient and safe process.
Gotcha. Now we see you got 3 of these units. 2 of them are pretty much tucked away for the winter.
That's correct.
Only 1 more will go out there and apply whatever it applies?
Yeah, so the remaining application that we have that we make typically right before Christmas time is a snow mold preventative application. So that if we have extended periods of snow cover, there can be a fungus that develops underneath the snow cover, so we spray preventatively. So when we come out in the springtime, we're good to go. So this machine right here will be dedicated towards our greens application before Christmas time.
So it's an easier time of the year than the golf season?
Indeed. The thunderstorms in the middle of July and August, those can be the tough times. Those can be the sleepless nights. This is the time we're able to catch up on the sleep and say, all right, yeah, we can prepare for that season ahead. We're fortunate to have bent grass greens and approaches and mostly in our fairways as well.
They're a little more durable. You don't have to worry about that PO and getting out there hand watering it all the time?
Exactly, and during the wintertime, we're not real concerned about winter kill or things like that. We know our turf can really stand the test.
Okay. You know, an interesting thing, and you told me before we started this interview, what Bidermann has done as a club with Penn State is that you provide a scholarship, the club does, to a young man or woman to go to Penn State, get their education in what you're doing. There aren't many clubs that I know of that do that. Could you explain that whole thing?
Sure, yeah. As far as I know, there aren't many clubs that do it either, but I do think it's going to become an up-and-coming topic as we, as superintendents, try to bring more folks into the business, especially as the need for assistant superintendents is there. I mean, it's there right now. So we want to make sure that as a club, we're doing right to say, let's do all that we can to help educate those that are very interested in turf grass but maybe have not had the ability or the means to go to school and say, yeah, let's get them in there, let's get them educated. We do ask for a commitment in between years where they come back to us as an intern. And then after school, they come back to us for a couple of years, hopefully 2, unless a job opportunity that they want arises. to say, hey, yeah, we're going to help fulfill the commitment of the scholarship of those several semesters that we went to school. But it's a great relationship. I feel very proud of our program and what we're able to do and how we're able to help facilitate the turfgrass industry as a whole. And we have a very supportive membership here and supportive club to help do all that.
And full disclosure, we are Penn State, right? What year?
We are. Graduated in 2006.
Okay, so hence the relationship with Penn State University.
Yeah, full disclosure, I don't say this is where they have to go, but I tend to nudge them in one direction.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, job well done. Another thing that has been well done, and we're going to devote the latter part of today's show here at Bidermann to it, is certification with the World Audubon Society as this property, and it doesn't happen that often. We'll go into more detail with one of your assistants, but overall, you guys decided to apply for the certification, and congratulations, you got it.
Thanks, Harry.
Yeah, tell us about that a little bit, the motivation to get it done, first of all.
Absolutely, yeah. The impetus to get it done is really, it's part of our club's top goals. Part of their strategic plan was to make sure that we were always thinking about the environment and making sure that we always had the environment at the forefront of our mind.
Rob Sefton joins us in just a moment. We'll talk about the process with Rob when we come back to Bidermann here on Inside Golf.
With feet on the ground with the documentation that we provided.
For over 2 decades, First Tee has created experiences that build character. We believe every kid deserves to feel supported, safe to try something new, and to be prepared for what comes next. We develop their swing, but more importantly, their inner strength. Because we know what's inside doesn't just count, it changes the game. Come join us at First Tee.
Welcome back. Inside Golf continues from Bidermann here in Wilmington, and we're joined by Rob Sefton. He is the lead assistant superintendent at Bidermann and the man who was in charge of putting together the whole process to get the International Audubon Society to give you a certificate. First of all, thanks for having us, and second, explain the process, Rob, when it started, and take us through it a little bit.
It's our pleasure to have you. So first and foremost, just want to make sure that I get it on camera. This was a team effort. The leadership team came together and helped to expedite this process, as Pat Mishner had spoken to you about earlier. We started the process in the second week of January, and we were able to complete everything by the first week in October.
So that was warp speed.
It was.
Compared to what a lot of other places, golf clubs have to do in order to get that certificate. You got it done in a relatively short period of time.
We did.
Tell us what went into it. I mean, what did you have to do? Outline for the International Audubon Society what your goals were and how you plan to implement them?
So it's a multi-stage process, the first of which Audubon International provides us with a template that we have to fill out. And this is essentially giving them a snapshot of the property overview, facilities that are on that property, as well as an overview of our daily operations and what that all entails. Once we've gotten an opportunity to provide that, they review and approve, and then we're ready to move on to the next stage, which is documentation. Documentation, pretty lengthy process associated with that. If memory serves me right, we submitted about 243 pages of documentation. That included things such as chemical use reduction, chemical safety, water conservation, water quality testing, community outreach and education programs, as well as a list of wildlife and habitat management.
So once you compile all that outline form, you submit it, and then they come on site to see exactly how you reach the goal? Is that basically the way it worked?
It is, and so the final part of the certification process, there's an individual that comes out from Audubon International, and this is an opportunity for them to marry what they see visually with feet on the ground with the documentation that we provided.
Right, and from what I understand, not many clubs, not only in this country, but worldwide, get that certificate. What's the number?
So there's over 30,000 golf courses worldwide. This specific certification that we got from Audubon International, which is known as a certification sanctuary membership, there's about 3% of the golf courses worldwide that hold that particular type of membership.
3% out of 30,000 worldwide.
Yes, sir.
And could you have been rejected?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
That happens.
It does. It does.
Was that one of the things that you were worried about when it came time for them to come out, or the one individual come out and take a look?
We felt pretty confident that we had dotted our I's and crossed our T's when we got to that point.
Okay, and is it a certificate ad infinitum, or does it last a certain period of time to be recertified? How does that work?
So we do need to be recertified every 3 years, and it toggles back and forth between coming out for another site visit, or we need to provide recertification backup documentation.
So the whole thing, the process, maybe not 243 pages, but some other little things maybe you want to add on. They come back out, look at it, stamp of approval,
correct.
Recertification.
And an abbreviated version of that, if you will.
Right. Who was behind getting the whole idea going? I mean, was it the superintendent's department or the Greens Committee? Like, how did the club approach it to say, hey, you know what, this would be a good idea?
I think it was a collaborative effort between the agronomy team, but our membership really drove this. This is something that was high, big on their radar for an extended period of time. And so they were tremendous advocates for pushing for this certification.
Well, Bidermann cares, and this guy cares as much as anybody for what you did to make it possible. Congratulations. It's only been a couple months, and look at it this way. You still have, 2.5 years before you have to go through the recertification
Indeed.
process, and you'll be ready for it.
Absolutely.
Rob, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And congratulations again, and congratulations to all the members here at Bidermann. Job well done. All right, stay with us. More to come. Up next on Inside Golf, our teed-off panel.
I think watching 18 holes would be really difficult.
Welcome back to Inside Golf and to our teed-off panel. On behalf of everybody here, a happy 2022, everybody. We were at Lulu in the grill. We still got the holiday festive atmosphere here. Glad you could join us again at Lulu Country Club. All right, our panel today from the Golf Association of Philadelphia, where he is now into another term as GAP president, Mr. Oscar Mestre.
Thank you.
Good to see you, my friend.
Happy New Year.
How many more terms do you have in that swing?
They're pushing for term limits right now.
No. You're doing a great job. Matt Fry is Director of Communications, Philadelphia section of the PGA, which celebrated last year its centennial. So now you're on the start of a second centennial.
Getting into the next 100.
Never ends.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right. By the way, Inside Golf is 25 years old this year. We're well behind you guys. Brian Quinn. Everybody knows BQ. You drive by on the Blue Route, you see the golf range to the right or the left, and that's one of his spots, right? You are a golf coach at Temple. You are an administrator, Big Mahoff at the 1912 Club. BQ Golf over there outside of Conshohocken. When do you get time to do teed off like this?
Hey, anything for you, Harry.
Thank you. I want to
Happy New Year as well.
Happy New Year. And Jim Sullivan, he's our host at Lulu, as he's a club champion here. This guy played on the PGA Tour. I know it must have been when he was 8 years old.
Long time ago.
But he's our resident Lulu guy. We're always glad to see you, Sully. All right, let's talk a little bit about a TV event that got some good ratings, The Match. They've been doing it now 3 or 4 times. But this had a little extra, I think, Oscar, because in 2021, one of the stories was the grudge between 2 of its more prominent players on tour, Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka. And they finally got them together. They kind of kissed and made up maybe for the cameras at the Ryder Cup. But here they were at Steve Wynn's golf course in Vegas, primetime television, a 12-hole match. And it didn't turn into much of a match, did it? Were you surprised at how he really
Somewhat
spanked?
anticlimactic, right?
Brooks really spanked Bryson. Yeah, what happened there?
I don't know. I think Brooks wanted it more than Bryson did.
Okay.
But interesting point that this is becoming more and more common to have these matches made for TV events. I mean, they're shortening them up, which increases their chance of success. I think watching 18 holes would be really difficult.
Would have been over fast. It would have been over by about hole number 14.
I mean, 4 and 3, I believe it was. What was that? The best
On a
hour
12-hole match.
45-minute match ever.
That's a spanking.
Yeah, that's a spanking.
That's a spank. Matt, the reason I think for the 12-hole format was the fact that daylight in Vegas even, they didn't have lights. Remember that one year they had one of these made-for-TV events and they had it at nighttime?
Yep.
That didn't work. But, do you think these guys, is it thawing out the grudge between the two? Did this help it at all? Or where does that stand?
I don't think it probably made much of a difference between their relationship, other than the fact that they can at least be near each other without going at it. But I don't see their relationship changing much positive or negative in the future because of this.
Right. How about for the game of golf? Do you think, did that attract maybe non-golf fans just because of the hype between these two and the problems they've had in the past?
I think absolutely. I mean, we're talking about it right now,
still.
and I think that's kind of the point. They're staying relevant, keeping their names out there. I don't think their grudge is as big as everyone plays it off as. I think it started with the abs thing and the trophies and Koepka coming back at Bryson. But overall, I think it's good for golf. Anytime we can get golf out there and promote the game, I think it's fantastic. We probably should look down another venue or another way to promote the game outside of just Brooks and Bryson.
Something else I want to talk about is the TV production, the actual production. You had a lot of interplay between Phil Mickelson, and Phil likes to talk, okay, when he's in one of these things, Charles Barkley, and they kind of dominated the match almost as much as DeChambeau and Brooks.
I mean, so if you recall in one of the last segments, we were asked about interest in the show, and I had none.
Oh, really? You didn't watch it at all?
I didn't watch
Oh,
a second
wow.
of it. So I got 2 texts during it asking if I kept my word to you, which I did. But as far as Mickelson and Barkley, these are entertaining guys, right? Mickelson loves to talk. He's obviously knows the context really well, and he's interesting. DeChambeau and Koepka are not interesting, right? They're great players, probably very marketable for the PGA Tour, but they're not interesting guys, in my opinion. And Barkley brings a lot to the table because he likes to talk and loves golf, and he's going to bring a lot in banter probably with Mickelson. And from a context of trying to build the show, you would want to have them dominated, right? Because you're not looking for the interplay. Tiger and Phil in recent years had a little bit of interplay when they threw in Brady and Peyton Manning, maybe.
At Seminole.
There's more to it there, but Barkley and Mickelson could probably carry that show watching you and I play golf.
At least Phil
You
could.
don't even need the 2 best players in the world. That to me is where it is. Their commentary is interesting.
All right, a quick question I'm going to ask each of you. Who would you rather play, not 12 holes, but 18 holes with? Brooks Koepka or Bryson DeChambeau? Just in a little friendly...
I don't get another choice?
Huh? Well...
Jimmy Sullivan. I
that
want to
says
play with
it
Jimmy
all.
Sullivan.
That says it all. Okay.
Honestly, I would say, no offense intended, but there'd be a lot of other guys I'd rather play with than those two.
Interesting. Okay.
It'd be fun to watch. It'd be fun to watch them how far they hit it. How far they hit it past me.
Matt?
I'd probably go with Brooks. Bryson doesn't seem like the kind of guy I'd hang out with on a regular basis. Yeah.
Okay. BQ? Who would you rather give a lesson to?
Well, I think to save someone's career, it would probably be Bryson DeChambeau.
Uh-oh. That sounds like the topic of a teed off.
It could be. Yeah. I mean, he's going to hurt himself.
Okay. Wow. There you go. You heard it here first. And Sully, you'd probably forget you had a match with one of those guys, right?
I would probably pick, if forced to, I'd pick Bryson. I'd rather caddy for Oscar or Matt or Brian than play with either of them, but I'd pick Bryson. He the thug or approach that Brooks brings to the table is completely uninteresting.
Tries to intimidate you.
Bryson seems like I'm not in love with him, but I would pick he as a least worst.
Okay. Would you try to, though, put a little extra into every tee shot just to see if you could keep up with him? No? You don't worry about that?
No, way too old for that.
All right. Thank you, guys, and we'll be back. More of Inside Golf coming up in just a moment. Designed by Donald Ross, Lulu Country Club is one of the premier private golf courses in Montgomery County. This classic 18-hole course boasts a new state-of-the-art clubhouse with many amenities for members to enjoy. Members are invited to play in events, tournaments, and enjoy guest privileges. For more information, contact membership at lulucc.com.
They're not just familiar faces. They're your friends and neighbors. It's their small businesses, a beating heart that makes a neighborhood a home. The places with a pick-me-up or a story that inspires, where you can share a taste of comfort with a personal touch that makes our world shine a little brighter. Support small and make a big difference. Make it local. Make it Main Street. Make it Montco.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. Our thanks to Pat and to Rob for telling us what they do in the off-season here at Bidermann in Wilmington. Once again, congratulations to everybody here at Bidermann on getting that certificate from the Audubon International Society. Like I said earlier, job well done. I'm Harry Donahue. Remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up, and we'll see you next time right here on Inside Golf. The 25th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. Your next golf getaway is in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Visit montcogolf.com. By the First Tee Greater Philadelphia. The First Tee not only helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit firstteephiladelphia.org. By the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, a community of professionals enhancing the game of golf since 1925. Make sure you thank your golf course superintendent today. By Gap, celebrating 125 years of amateur golf. By Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, a digital publication and private business network. Read the current issue free at jerseymanmagazine.com. By the Haverford Trust Company. For life's must-haves, there's Haverford. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia PGA Section, the experts in the game and business of golf.